Welcome to day 409 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother, Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in DeSofy. So there's actually quite a bit to talk about today on this Monday morning. A lot going on in the world of DeSo as the crypto markets sort of plunge. But first, let's get started with the diamond question of the day, Brian.
Yeah, so answer this question in the comment section below this video on DeSo, and we'll give you 3 or 4 diamonds if we'd like your reply. But today's question, fitting for the times, how do you react to crypto slumps? So when the crypto market plunges a lot, and really compared to other plunges, this has been nothing. What's your first reaction?
I put my head in a pillow and scream as loud as I can.
That's exactly what I do. No, really, like to me, what I do is I just go back onto the technology. I tell myself why I'm here. Why am I in Bitcoin? Why am I in DeSo? Why am I here? And the reason is the technology. The reason I'm excited about NFTs isn't because these NFTs have gone up from maybe $500 to $500,000 in a matter of months, but because the NFT technology, crypto technology, it's what's going to move Web3 and move the internet forward over the next 5-10 years. And if you're excited about it, it's for a reason. And I just say, like, if you start getting discouraged, reevaluate things. Start educating yourself on the blockchains or the technologies behind those blockchains, and start understanding how they work and why they might or might not be the future. And that's what I do.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see JPEGs selling for $1 million or $500,000 constantly for the rest of eternity. You know, like sure, I think some of these collections back, like the CryptoPunks and the Bored Ape Yacht Club, I think they're going to hold their value likely over the long run. I mean, this isn't investment advice by any means, but we're not going to just see more and more NFTs, JPEGs being minted as NFTs essentially that are going to jump that high in price, I think. But the technology behind NFTs is something that definitely holds the future. And I think there's so many other use cases for NFTs out there. There's so many other use cases for blockchain out there. There's so many other use cases for cryptocurrency out there that we haven't even begun to touch the surface of yet. So yeah, there's going to be these ups and then there's going to be the downs. And it's just the volatility of the crypto and blockchain space. Just expect it to happen. You know, I think you just got to kind of look at it as you're holding crypto, but don't look at it in terms of US dollars, look at it in terms of the crypto and the technology behind it.
Yeah, and like you said, with NFTs, I think for me, it's not necessarily the images, the art that has the value, but it's the concept of developing these communities around these collections. And I think that's what can really move things forward, because you start getting incentivized for owning the art, you get into these exclusive groups. But yeah, let's move forward to some of the news. And some of the biggest news is DeSo hit a new all-time low. $20.36, I think, was the lowest it hit sometime last night or early this morning.
2025, I think. It went down to $20.25. Currently, at the time we're recording, it's at $20.97.
Yeah, and if you look at the market cap, there's 10.8 million DeSo out there. Around, I guess it's probably around $18 and some cents that you'd have a market cap equal to what they brought in from investors last March. So we're getting very close to that. I'm not saying we can't breach that. I think that if there's a major crypto crash and Bitcoin drops to like $20,000, I definitely think that you could fall under that. But at the same time, that should act as somewhat of a strong level of support. Not investment advice, just opinion.
Yeah, so I mean, they did spend some of that money, but only a small fraction. But if you look at it, you could say, okay, at $18, DeSo could essentially take their treasury and buy back all of the DeSo on the open market if that didn't force the price to go up as they bought it. So, you know, I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? It's either you believe in the DeSo technology and you think it's the future, or you don't. And if you don't, you probably shouldn't be owning it. If you do, maybe you should. But again,
And remember,
investment.
risk goes down as price goes down. So buying DeSo at $100 are a lot riskier than buying it at $20.25.
Yeah, and we, along with many other DeSo OGs, bought it at well over $100 at one point in time.
Yeah, I think our average is probably around $60 though, because we aped in at 50. I think probably around 50, 60, $60 is probably where our average is.
Yeah, so in other news, DeSofy, of course, the mobile app for DeSo, the DeSo blockchain, will announce a new feature this week on their Discord. And you can check out the link below this video, and will take you to their post where they link to their Discord. But the beta version will release this week as well, and it will be officially published on the App Store sometime this week if all goes as planned. So I'm excited about that. You know, I think DeSo needs something like that where it can kind of go out to the masses, and this is exciting, DeSofy.
Yeah, and of course we've been waiting for a long time to see what they roll out in the App Store. They're probably the app that Rabal and team, I think they are probably one of the hardest working projects on DeSo from the very start. And I just want to give Rabal a huge shout out, because what he's doing has been driving the DeSo community. I think without DeSofy, I think we'd be in a much darker place on DeSo right now.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks again, Rabal, for what you're doing. And I look forward to seeing what DeSofy does.
Yeah, so in other news, Overcloud, another great node. Well, I guess DeSofy isn't actually a node. So another great project, but they are a node. They announced several new features rolling out today. And there's some pretty good changes here that I really appreciate. Number one, they're allowing for pin post. So you can now go to your profile, choose any post you published, and you can click the 3-dot menu and just select pin, and that will pin the post. Basically, it's displayed first while anybody's viewing your profile. Great idea. I know from the very start, we've been calling for the ability to pin posts. I think we meant across all nodes, but I'd like it at a node level. I think that's probably just as good, because if you want to pin it on other nodes and other nodes get that feature, then you can do it.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense because, you know, there might be more niche level nodes that pop up, and maybe you don't want a post about politics pinned on the node about sports, but maybe you want a post about the New York Yankees on the sports node, but your political post on the political node, and then your DeSo related node on Overcloud. So, I mean, post on Overcloud. So I think the idea of putting pin posts on chain is not a good idea, but I think the idea of allowing them to be pinned on a node level is the best way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they upgraded their look. Overcloud and changed their new, they have a new user interface, and it's really cool. It goes along, really reflects their new logo that they rolled out last week. Can find a fully updated landing page, which is awesome. And the site design now follows a new logo style, which is important because it makes it more cohesive. Number 3, they've added username autocomplete. Thanks to a suggestion by Darian Parrish, when you're actually commenting on a post and you do an @ and type a letter, it will autocomplete to, I guess, the top account, so you can quickly find one. You don't have to type the whole username. And I love this feature. I know that several other apps use it for searching and also for tagging. So good job there. And finally, many mobile fixes and some usability improvements. But yeah, you can check out their post about all this in the text below this video. But once again, Overcloud and Don Hardman, way to go. You guys have been working really hard, probably as hard as Rabal that we just mentioned.
Yeah, great job, Don and team. I'm sure he has quite a few people working for him. So 3 days ago, Natter made a tweet about how a recession in the world economy, I guess, might tighten up investment capital, hence leading to entrepreneurs trying to find other ways to raise capital for their ideas. And he believes that DAOs could be a huge part of that. And of course, with DAO launching pretty much any day now, I guess like within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have an outlet for these DAOs to kind of congregate on and be created on and run through. But Ekim Kaya, I don't know, I hope I'm saying that right. Ekim or Ekim, I guess it's Ekim, replied to his post, and he said, "Can't wait to start my first DAO." And of course, Ekim is actually a really well-known person. He has over 84,000 Twitter followers, over 1 million Instagram followers. And he also yesterday, he made a DeSo post asking who's interested in crowdsourcing to buy crypto startups at microacquire.com. It's a startup acquisition marketplace. I assume he's either behind it or he's affiliated with it. Ekim said that a crowdsourcing DAO will be funded as soon as DAO becomes available. So that's exciting. Like, he's going to create a DAO. He's going to create a DAO to crowdsource for startups. And then I assume he's going to, be blasting it to his over 1 million followers to let them know that they can participate in this DAO. So that's exciting. That's something that might be to bring more people onto both DAO and onto DeSo. So that's good news in my opinion.
Yeah, I would just call it more like crowdfunding rather than crowdsourcing.
Yeah.
Crowdfunding is like when you get a bunch of people together and fund either a project like a Kickstarter, but also there's equity crowdfunding where you can actually fund companies. And that's
you're crowdsourcing the funding. It's just
right. Yeah, exactly. You're crowdsourcing the funding. But yeah, I mean, we dabbled in the crowdfunding or I guess space, you could call it, probably about 5 or 6 years ago. We had forums, discussion boards, communities related to it, and crowdfunding is big. And I think that DAOs are just an extension of crowdfunding at a more technical level. I think that is more, I guess, engageable as well as automated in some ways.
Yeah, for sure. And before I move to the next topic, I just saw on my screen that the price of DeSo fell all the way down to $19.74 moments ago, but it quickly bounced back up to $20.52. I'll keep an eye on this as we go. But Emulsify yesterday previewed new DeSo content that's going to be coming from Jacob Van, Invest in Digital, Fast Freddy, Dylan Jagger-Lee, and Natter, as well as builders and creators on DeSo. And some of that content's going to be, which this isn't final, but according to the screenshot that he posted, it looks like some of that content's going to include a DeSo deep dive, community spotlight, what's in the news, developer tutorials, finite versus infinite state blockchains, hypersync innovation, smart contracts versus smart services, on-chain encrypted messaging, and a whole bunch more. I know they had some stuff about NFTs and supernovas in there. They also had excuse me, also had a mention of our videos as us being creators. So it looks exciting. I think they're really working hard on creating this, not only the marketing side of videos and blogs, but also the educational side of things. So I think that's all needed. I think with marketing has to be the education. There's so many terms and ideas on DeSo that are not well known. So you can't really market something unless you're also teaching them about it.
Yeah, and I love this. I think that we're ready to see kind of this like shock and awe approach to not only marketing, but to onboarding, to seeing DAO and the hard fork launch. And of course, all these tutorials and all this information that's going to help people kind of better understand what's happening on DeSo. So I think the next few months are going to be big. And I think this is going to play a crucial role in it. And that's educating people about DeSo, about DAO, about why all of this matters.
So do you think it's a bad time to be launching DAO now that crypto has plunged?
I was thinking the exact same thing, but I mean, you can't really, I mean, what do? You delay it another few months for the crypto market, you pick back up. I don't think that's the right answer. Put it out there. And then when the crypto market does pick back up, you're going to be there. You're going to be ready. People are going to know about it. And it shouldn't matter the timing wise, I don't think.
Is Emulsified also shared an article on LinkedIn, and the article is written by a DeSo user, May Mislang, and I might be mispronouncing that. I apologize, May, if I'm mispronouncing your name, but she actually wrote a very detailed, in-depth article talking mostly about the elections going on in the Philippines. And she says that she's going to be voting for Lenny Robredo, but the problem is that Fernando Bongbong Marcos is most likely going to win an election. I know he's up in the polls like 52 to 23% over Robredo. So, but she talks about how social media is kind of intoxicating the voter base and essentially the whole population of the Philippines. Her belief is that Marcos is going to win because most of these people are being educated through social media instead of through traditional means like schooling and, you know, seeing real facts for what they are. She blames Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and instead of getting the real education, people are educating themselves on social media. And she thinks this is a problem because she thinks, you know, individuals control social media, and there's all these bot accounts that, you know, they're not really tied to real names, real people. So anybody can, you know, say anything they want, and others are taking that information as being fact, which is a problem. And I think America saw this in our elections in our past several elections with, you know, we had other countries interfering, China, Russia, Iran, interfering with our elections using social media accounts that are just essentially anonymous. And I like what Elon Musk is doing in the verification process. I think that can go a long way. But she emphasized how DeSo is really a great solution. And DeSo isn't foolproof. She acknowledged that, but it is a huge step in the right direction. One quote she said in the article was, "Freedom of speech is not in the hands of one callous billionaire, but in many ordinary people who will not only like, comment, and call you out for your fake news." So she's referring to DeSo and saying that she doesn't think a billionaire should be running a social media site, essentially being in control of it. She thinks ordinary people should control it, and that information is available to all via the blockchain.
Yeah, and she brings up good points. And with Elon buying Twitter, you're actually centralizing it a lot more instead of a board of directors and basically all these thousands and thousands of shareholders owning Twitter. It's mostly Elon and a few of these investors. And that's further centralizing it, which could be actually more problematic. We don't know what Elon's going to do. Maybe he has some grand plan where he's going to decentralize things and put things in the hands of users, but we don't know if that's going to happen. And as for disinformation and how these falsehoods spread on traditional social media, I mean, we've seen it firsthand ourselves. And I'm not just talking like one side. Like you're getting disinformation coming from foreign governments to help the right, the left, the center, all based on what these foreign governments want and how they view the current administration, the past administrations. So you're getting all kinds of information, misinformation spread on traditional social media by foreign governments. And I'm sure the United States is doing the same thing to other countries. So when you democratize the approach like DeSo does, where you have all the data there, but each and every node acts as its own lens, or you could say filter of that data, it becomes more democratized. You could have tens of thousands of nodes all filtering this data how they want to. And I think the vast majority of the filtration would be more in line with what's factual, not based on one opinion, but based on possibly thousands of opinions.
Yeah, I agree. So in other news, Woofy X Crypto, we talked a lot about them because they've been, you know, creating these hashtags that have been pushed to the top of the daily top used hashtags. And they released their roadmap, but they say that they need to raise $50,000 for the project that they're working on. They said things are negotiable, but the roadmap includes Q1, and they haven't set out in quarters. I don't know if these are traditional quarters, like Q1 being the first 3 months of the year, or if it's their own quarters, because it doesn't seem to align. But Q1, website, crypto launch, and merchandise. is going to be coming. They're building their community in Q1. Q2, they plan on having an NFT launch, the first edition 3D NFT prints, NFT crypto lessons, social media marketing tactics, and a metaverse partnership. In Q3, they want Whoopi X crypto NFT music and NFT comic book story. And in Q4, their plans are a decentralized social media application, Whoopi X crypto NFT play to earn game, and a Whoopi X crypto esports gaming tournament. You can see more about this if you check out the post below. $50,000 is a lot for somebody to invest into this. I think they're probably better off putting out a more detailed white paper to kind of give people information, or maybe even release on DAO when it comes out. I think they have a better chance of raising money that way. But Brian, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, no, I love what they're doing. I'm glad that they're doing this. I do think it's just difficult to raise money in this environment. I know the Octane Fund has kind of been put on pause. I think they're just reassessing things, getting things back organized after Alex left. But yeah, I mean, DAO might be the solution. I think we need another wave of people before DAO is actually going to be able to raise a significant amount of money for projects. But I think we'll get that if we get a couple major DAOs from outside of DeSo. But yeah, let's get to the top hashtags.
I was just going to say, yeah, like with Alex Velatis kind of stepping aside, I think they're still trying to regroup the whole Octane funding thing. So I think there's going to be some delays in that, at least well after DAO is released, I think.
Yeah. So top hashtags over the last 24 hours, according to Open Prosper, number 1 was DeSo. Number 2, we are real DeSo. Number 3, let's get.
No, Brian, it's we are all DeSo.
We are, yeah, okay. It's all combined, so it's tough. We are all DeSo. Let's get DeSo lit is number 3, followed by NFT and followed by music. And we are all DeSo and let's get DeSo lit. They're actually created by Stargazer, I'm pretty sure. And a diamond game it's basically a diamond game that he created where he's asking people to tell your DeSo stories. So tell your DeSo story, use those hashtags and get found, I guess is the idea. So Open Prosper's top earners, it's not functioning because Open Prosper was down the last day. It's back up, but the numbers are skewed. So we're going to skip that. So instead, I'm going to do the top diamond earners of the last 24 hours, according to Diamond App. And the number 1 is Stargazer, congrats, followed by Photographer's Corner, Spunk Art, DeSocial World, Now and Then, Mossified, Happy Rabbit, Mashalen, and Dr. Rob.
Congratulations to the top diamond creators or diamonded creators. And there's 2 community events today I want to touch on before we close out. 11 a.m. Eastern time on Clubhouse. There's Music Mondays, Decentralized Music with Chats today, Miss Katie Ann and Michelle Lord. It's DJ'd by Rhubarb, like always. He's the co-founder of Wavepool X. And it's going to feature performances by GJ Art, Dr. Rob, Maintain the Reason, Goldberry, Mercury, Alendez, Extinct, Sean Drums, St. Lane's, DOZ, Jay Lamb, and others. If you're a musician, you can show up and take part and show off some of your musical talent. It's always a great room to take part in. Again, that's 11 a.m. Eastern time on Clubhouse. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Entra is the Entra Town Hall with Sean Tron and CEO and founder of Entra, Michael Mara. So definitely check those out. Again, that one's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I believe that's all the news we have for today. Price of DeSo's bounced back a little bit. It's at $20.23 right now. It's going to be interesting to track both Bitcoin and DeSo today. Talk to everybody later.